Hello, Victor. Good afternoon. How are you?
Good afternoon. Yeah, pretty good. Just like as Friday.
It's Friday, Friday, Friday. That's it. It's the moment to sing. Happy New Year!
Yeah, Happy New Year too.
No, we have seen already many days after New Year, but we haven't done any streaming. Hello, YouTube. Hello, world. Hello, our colleagues from the Liquid Galaxy project community and other audience that can be seeing the show in real time or later in YouTube. So as I was saying, we're coming back. We did a pretty intense training sessions before the Christmas thing. We stopped for not much for 10 days or 15 days, and now we're coming back with another of your sessions. Victor, thank you very much for you staying with us today as the mentor you are in the Liquid Galaxy project. And only for the name of your talk, it's gonna be fantastic. And also, let me ask you: is this picture on the slides made by you or by another kind of intelligence?
Yeah, it is by another intelligence. Maybe you can see it because if you look in the letters of the things or the lines, you can see they are not make the full sense that other things has. So yeah, you can see the atom or I'm not sure if
maybe you were an artist and you make the atom a little bit different.
Yes.
Good. So Advanced Flutter project management on GitHub. Fantastic.
Yes.
To the ultimate masterclass. This is going to be so serious. Ultimate masterclass. Woo!
The ultimate. And the point of this is because people usually think like, the big companies has complex CIs, really expensive tools that they pay by subscription. And it is not really, because actually behind of this, what I want to say is everybody in Flutter could has their projects as big companies.
Very good. Good. Democracy for developers.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to close my camera and my mic, and the stage is yours. You can go ahead.
Okay. Thanks. Hello, everyone again. I'm really glad to see all of you and to be here again. And if in our last masterclass we were talking about test and how to test projects with Flutter. Before that, we were discussing about the fundamental things in app version control and how we can use Git and GitHub and things like this. Well, what I want to do now is go a big introduction as how exactly we can manage projects, Flutter projects, I mean, in GitHub as big companies or as other complex teams. Like we will see the beautiful things that we can do using these tools that GitHub offer to all of us to in a simpler and in order like we will be able to manage our projects in a less issues, more automatically, and well, that's all I think. So basically, well, first of all, it's me. I am Victor, mobile subtitle in Capgemini, and there you will see a QR code where you can just research about my personal blog, where I usually speak about these kind of things, because you will see I usually speak like project management in Flutter, CI, how to do CD in GitHub with in Flutter project, things like this in mobile. And if you have time or if you want, you can go there and visit it. Well, now the point here, where uh, what we want to talk is about GitHub Actions and Dependabot. Both tools will help us to do beautiful things like distribution, delivery, our apps, everything automatically, and also um, security tools, things like, well, I don't want to compare because I don't like it. I don't like to compare. Okay, the Dependabot, it is exactly the same like other softwares that we can use to security. But the point is, let's to describe them, and let's see if after that we have a clear point of view about both tools. So, what is GitHub Actions? Okay, if um, if we go uh, to the public documentation, uh, okay, we will see interesting things. If we just simple search about GitHub Actions, um, this is the documentation. This is the place where we can see how to automatize, customize, and execute our software development workflows. Because everything in as GitHub Actions is exactly that. It's a workflow that it will be triggered by some external thing, like for example, every time that we make a push, every time that we make PR, things like that automatically can trigger these workflows in order to do an automatically tool task that it can be executed every time that it is triggered. So also we can learn a lot of things about this kind of, but I'm not gonna do this kind of things like to research. I want to be more practical in order to review together how looks like a project who has these kind of things. So um, basically, if we also you can see examples like to use these kind of scripts, but I'm gonna just simple switch directly to couple projects, Flutter projects, where I have this, and I want to share with all of you this how it works and how it looked like. So, if we open, this probably is a bit complex, but I like this. Okay, first of all, when we want to include these kind of workflows or GitHub actions inside of our projects to trigger a task or jobs that we want to do, is create a hidden folder called .github, and instead of it, what I have is another folder with the workflows. Also, if we create a new repository and if we want to start to use it, for example, let's do this. Let's gonna create a GitHub repository just to test. I'm gonna no, I'm not gonna use this. I'm gonna use my personal a name. I'm gonna say Liquid Galaxy Workflow or workshop. So I'm not gonna use descriptions. I'm not gonna do anything because what I want to do is just to show you. If directly, as you will see, you have actions tab. This action tab will help us to simply be able to create these kind of things. And if we select, he doesn't know the technology that we are using because as you can see, the action of this project is. He tried to suggest you a repository depending of the language that we are using, because we can do this in a Android project or in a native iOS project or whatever. But if we just try to text like Flutter, there is no exactly workflows, but we will be able to find one if you have a Dart project. But if we select configure, automatically code, this is generated automatically. You will see a name, trigger. But let's do discuss about this topic, because for me, this is the best part. Also, all of the properties that you can use inside of your workflows, it is documented. So you can go to there and read about how to use in workflows, what exactly is a workflow. Like a workflow is what we are saying, no? Right? The way that we can automatize process to run one or more jobs. So this is what we want. Yeah. No, thanks. It looks like I'm not presenting. So hold on. Okay, hold on. This entire window. I'm sharing the window. Okay, thanks a lot. No, now I am sharing the GitHub. Now it's right. Okay, great. So the point is, okay, great. Let's go back. If we are inside of our repository in GitHub and we just review exactly the actions, we inside of this new repository that I just created a couple minutes ago for this workshop, when I press Actions tab, automatically I will be able to see the different deployments that I can use, and automatically the code will be like a template. But as I was saying, if we search by Flutter, there is no workflows yet, but because GitHub is still working on this. But if we use Dart, for example, we will be able. If we press configure, maybe you will see this only works with Dart. But actually, when we create Flutter projects, we don't use Dart as SDK. Like in order to use Dart test or Dart, we want to use Flutter, and we will see the differences here. Because as you can see, we are using Flutter pub.get, Flutter analyze, Flutter test, instead to use Dart analyze, Dart test. So exactly this is not what we want. And if you try this way, you will see it is not. It will not work. So no problem, because this is what we are going to do today. So going back to what I was saying about the GitHub documentation, you will see a big list of tutorials and documentations. Like you can read more theoretically, like what exactly is a workflow, how to trigger a workflow. So this is something that you can research by your own, but this is a good point. Like when you create a workflow, this is a basic component for me, is really clear. One or more events will trigger that workflow that you are using. And this is something that we use with on. When we text on, we are saying the name of the GitHub event that triggers that workflow. For example, in my case, I have two different events. The first event is a push, and the second one event is the pull request. Both trigger the same. And this push can be managed by or handled by, for example, branches, in order, like, not all of them trigger this because this is what I choose. But if you delete this, automatically it will be like an all. But in my case, I only wanted to have it in the main branch. And the same with the pull request, for example, because actually this repository, the PDF, is using TBD, trunk-based development. This is something that we talked in the previous workshop that we did about the version control, how to manage our branches. And so basically, I only want to trigger my my workflow only when I make a push or pull request inside or to from any branch to the main branch. All right, this is the point. We just put a name to this action, and we can select the events that then trigger these kind of things, this kind of workflow. So after that, we have the jobs, and this is the other interesting thing, because one or more jobs, each of which will execute on a runner machine or a run of series of one or more steps. This is the point. The point is we will run a job or couple of jobs. A job is exactly, like a collection of steps. For example, download, I don't know, for example, the submodules that you have inside of your, I don't know, for example, think about a project who has a submodule inside of the repository. Well, your job need a step where you download the latest changes inside of that submodule, for example. Or, for example, select the machine that you want to use. For example, this is something, looks, in this case, our job has a name, Flutter CI. This is the name of what I'm gonna see. For example, run Flutter test and analyze. For example, if I go into the actions, I can see this is another repository, but all of them looks the same. All of those things that you are seeing are steps from this. So this is the test app, but if we go here, we will see exactly the same. This is another way to select branches inside of brackets instead by dashes and lines, but at the end is the same. And also, I have this job, and inside of this job, I have a build, because with a build, we are saying the kind of machine that we want to use, because we can use completely different machines. For example, if we want to use Mac OS, or we want to use, in my case, what I am using is an Ubuntu, and in the latest. But let's review together the GitHub actions and the documentation, syntax, workflow syntax. There we have run name, the name of the workflow, the on, the trigger, the way where we can see the way to trigger the events, multiple events. This is what we are using. But we want to go down, more go down, like, because we can use tags also. For example, this is really helpful. For me, this is something that I am using it a lot, because sometimes you want to create a trigger to deliver an app version, but how you detect this is a version? Well, you can create just a separate branch like master using Git flow, but other things that we can do is directly create a tag. We can tag a branch, and we can use these tags to trigger GitHub actions to automatically deliver to the market a version of the app from this. Because just to clarify something, when we trigger a workflow, it will take the branch who trigger it. So, for example, If we do this, like for example, a tag, when we make this tag, we trigger in that branch, in that commit, in that version of the branch, it will start to make the full workflow. So, and the completely job. So that's the point, and that's what I want to clarify here. All right, going down. It is going down more on a schedule because we can runs on. This is what I want to see. Runs on. Let's see if I can search because a lot of places is using their raw. Okay. The point here, a workflow run is made up of one or more jobs, will run in parallel by default. Yes, to run jobs sequentially, you have to define these jobs, but this is bigger than we need. I mean, I have used it in a lot of projects. And always I handle it as more steps inside of a single job because, well, the point here is the most part of the time, the steps are related and are dependent between them. Because if you have jobs that running in parallel, makes sense, but the most of the time triggered by the same workflow, for me, it makes sense as a single job and with multiple steps. But in any case, the point here is also you can host your own runners, like, for example, images for your app. But this is what he's saying, like, but this is not what I want to see. Workflow commands, no. Cache. What I want to see is runs on is the place where we can select the, let me check if I can, there it is. To define the type of machine that we can use. The destination machine can be either hosted by GitHub, a Linux, it will be a virtual machine with 2 processor CPUs, with 7 GBs of memory RAM, 14 SSD storages. Also, you can select the label. For example, I had, in this case, for example, I had couple issues, for example, because the latest with macOS, because macOS latest, it will not be the latest version of Sonoma. It will be 12th version. As you can see, this macOS for 13, it is actually in beta. So keep in mind when you select macOS latest, because, for example, in my case, I waste a couple days figuring or researching about what was wrong inside of my GitHub actions, and it was this. Anyway, in my case, I love to work with these Ubuntu virtual machines because they are, as you can see, well, they are faster, and for me is completely great. So basically, this is what we are selecting here with a runs on parameter inside of the build, and then we select steps. Every step is splitted by dashes, like we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps in this job. And okay, the first one we are doing is download a repository. What exactly is this? Uses, right? This uses is because instead of run, because when we select run, this is going to be like in a terminal text this, But when we use uses instead of run, it means like we are using a GitHub actions, because this is the purpose of this. We can use these GitHub actions with our projects. like, for example, this action checkouts your repository under your GitHub workspace, so your workflow can be accessed. What it means? It means like we will download our repository inside of this machine. Just saying this as a step. Saying this as a step automatically, because inside of this Ubuntu, our project, it will not be. So this is how we are saying, hey, download the repository, this current repository inside of this machine, of virtual machine. Okay, second one, inside of this machine, we don't have Flutter. This is what we are saying. Now we have to do exactly the same. We need inside of this to have Flutter inside of this action. So this is what we can use here. Flutter environment for use in GitHub Actions. It works on Linux, Windows, and macOS. So just doing this, also we can select a version of Flutter if we want. For example, if we want to do, if we want to use a specific version or a specific channel, we can just simple select, but also think like we can select, like if we were installing Flutter inside of our machines, we can select directly the channel that we want to use. For example, stable, or if it is Vita, or if it is the div or master, whatever. We can select whatever. So that's the point here. Also with tags, but this is, I think, more than we are going to need. But in any case, it's really great to have these actions as another action that we can use inside of our repository. Automatically, we will be able to download the repository, or we will be able just directly to install Flutter just with a single use. That's the point. Actually, with those, we will be able. But then we have to run commands because we need to download the dependencies with this command. Now, we will not use uses. We will use run. With the run, as I said, it's going to be like we have a terminal. Inside of the terminal, we will be able to run to execute the commands that we have inside of the run parameter. And after that, for example, in my case, I am analyzing the project because for me this is important. I want to detect if the linter can detect something is wrong. And with Flutter test, because in my case I have this, as if you were with me in other workshops that we did, or in the previous masterclass, we were seeing how to create unit test, widget test, and integration test, how to make testing in Flutter. So now we can run this, and it will be triggered just making, for example, let's do something. Let's do, I'm gonna, I don't know, testing sample liquid galaxy. I'm gonna change the label just to make a commit. And I'm gonna add master class commit and push. Let's gonna push. Okay. The push was okay because actually the branch is blocked. This is a really good one thing. So it means like I cannot do exactly this. I have to create a branch from master. For example, future slash work master class. All right. I'm gonna do the same. Let's see if I can do exactly the same. All right. Okay, done. Now I made this push, but let's go back again and let's review this. Now, if we go, we will not see like we did yes, there is no actions. There is no actions because the push is not in master, because it is in our future/masterclass branch, and neither is a pull request inside to master. So what we have to do now is go to a pull request, make this pull request, just because this is something that I force inside of this repository and I forgot it. So, okay. And I'm gonna create this pull request. And looks, now I have this, yes, exactly. That is, I was waiting for. This is the point. The point now, we have this CI, because Flutter CI was the name of the workflow. And now if go inside of the actions, we will see this Flutter CI email. That's the name of the file, as we can see. Also inside, if we go inside, we can see, okay, setup job, the download of the repository went well. We can see actually now we are installing Flutter. So this is great. Okay. So basically, let's see if we can see. Okay, it was installed in the dependencies. Welcome to Flutter. No estoy mostrando GitHub. Okay. Okay. The point is, I will try to make the zoom bigger if it is not seen. Maybe. Okay. Let's see if this help them to watch them properly. Okay, it is finished, installed, run test. The test went well, all of them, 9 test passed. The analyzed project source, no issues, great again. And the post download and post install, everything went well. So basically, the our Flutter CI is working as expected. And now if we go back to the pull request, we will see like this pull request has this label, like went well, and we can select to merge if we want. But it is not, the point is to see this new mark and to see how manage this inside of our project, just adding this file and adding this trigger on parameters saying the events that we want to trigger. So having this in mind, like we didn't touch anything to enable this, just to work with actions. This is a new tab that we have in our repositories, and just to having inside of the repository, as I was saying, the .github folder and the email files that we want, it will be enough. Here, for example, I have 3 different ones, and also we can select or have secrets. For example, why? Because this is something that we have to keep in mind. I don't want to go deeper about this topic, and if some of you want me to go deeper in this, I think this will take another masterclass just to talk about secrets. But in any case, if you just want to know, like, you can use them if you want to have your sensitive information out of the repositories. For example, all of those kind of drag PDF or testing apps are open source projects, and I don't want to share SDK keys or other kind of things, like could be a risk of security. So that's the point. And also, for example, in this case, I am using Java to make this run the project. For example, this is a bit complex because I have secrets of Android for Crashlytics or SDK for things like this. And also, for example, I can select the version of Java that I want to use or whatever. But keep in mind what I was saying. For example, in this is something like similar to drag PDF, but without secrets, without singular Java versions or things like this. Anyway, now the second part of this work of this just here is to talk about Dependabot. Dependabot is the tool that we used for security and for automatically the upgrading version. But they enable it, for example, if we create a new, for example, in this case, we have Liquid Galaxy workflow. This is workshop, this repository, because this is a client repository. If we go to settings, we can see a security part. In this security part, we can see this code security and analysis. This code analysis and security looks keep your dependency secure and update. Learn more about Dependabot. This is Dependabot. This is the part of Dependabot can be used for two different things. First of all, Dependabot alerts just can detect security updates, like, hey, your version is insecure. For example, I remember when I started to use Dependabot, I found a version of Flutter was had been detected as insecure because a dependency inside of Flutter version who has I don't remember the risk, but the point was they was presenting like update your dependency, update your Flutter version because this is insecure for some reasons. And also, on the other hand, you can detect if there is version updates, and this is something great because automatically it will be triggered, and it will be triggered as pull request inside of your repositories in order like you will have, for example, if I go to pull requests inside of this learning testing, and I detect, looks, this pull request or this second one pull request, it was not by me, it was by Dependabot. Dependabot automatically will create a branch, Dependabot /path/ the name of the package or the dependency, and dash the number of the newest version. And if you combine what we saw a couple minutes ago with this, automatically will trigger, as it was exactly how it works. Automatically, it will trigger a pull, a GitHub action with passing the test, passing everything in order to detect if this new upgrade is gonna need my support to check what they change, the things that I have to review. In any case, a major version should be, because you have to review what they did, what changes, because a major version, or maybe they are disruptive. But in any case, I was really confident seeing like the app was building. Another, for example, version was Go Router again. Was in this case, for example, just a patch version, and in this patch version was really simple. And in any case, if you go to a version what is not working, you can just go to this branch, recheck what is wrong, what is happening, or make your changes. For example, a major version who was to modify a couple things, and after that, approve the pull request, and our Dependabot will be again working. And also, we can go to security, to Dependabot, and automatically this you can detect, like this Dependabot, like to manage Dependabot rules or repository vulnerability settings or things like this. This is something great. But if we want to enable, that's the point. If we want to enable, we were not in this part. We were not in this. We were reviewing the other code security analysis. This. If you want to enable it, you have to select enable. Dependabot alerts need to dependency graph to be enabled, so it will be turned that on. Yes, dependency graph. This is what it is saying. Like the dependency graph has to be enabled, so you have to enable it. We can enable Dependabot's alerts. Also, we can enable security updates. Also, we can group all available updates that resolve a Dependabot alert into one pull request instead to have multiple of them. This is something still in beta because for me it was not working completely as expected. But the point is just, for example, think we will review it, but this will be it will be executed like a cron every week or like periodically. The point is maybe inside of a period you will have more than one pull request. Well, what they are saying is create groups of them with only one pull request. We can enable it, for example. And the version updates. This one is what I was saying. And this is the file that we need. 1 second. Okay. So if we have a look, we will create this GitHub folder that we did before, because if you remember, this GitHub was existing when we were talking about the workflows. But now it will not be inside of another folder called workflows. It will be out of workflows, but inside of GitHub folder. What exactly looks? The point here is we will need a version. This is the version of this Dependabot. And also, we can see when we create this template, we can see the full list of, because this is the full documentation about this topic. We will be able to see, like the package ecosystem, for example, because if we select package ecosystem, you can see the looks supported version v2 path, Swift version 5, npm, like, because we can use Dependabot for multiple technologies. This is not only for Flutter. I am just teaching it using Flutter, but we can use other technologies. For example, on Android with Gravel is not available, and Maven neither, for example. But the point is, path, we can use it, as you can see. And if we go here in this, you can select path. This is what we did here. Directory, where is the directory inside of the repository? In my case, in the slash, because this is where I have the project. All of them are in the same point. Executable. This is the point where we want to say interval. We can select directly weekly, like every week, but we can select the time and the time zone where we want to trigger this. So, for example, in my case, every week I can see every Monday. It's gonna be this executed updates for the Pendabot, and I will receive emails every time. Also, with the GitHub Actions, we can receive emails when it is not passing, not when they pass. The opposite, when they don't pass, when they fail, we will have an email every time a GitHub Actions will not pass. And basically, having this file and enabling this is something that if we want to have, if we want to have it, we need it. For example, let's see if I can go to another repository that we can, for example, the PDF, to check if we can see, if we can manually, just to, for example, the Pendabot is here. This is, for example, what I was saying, path traversal in archive. It was 4 months ago, and file name is spoofing in archive. It was just to updating. This is like they are gonna be on the code screening, automatically detect vulnerabilities in your code, or things like this. For example, this is secure, secrets, code and analysis. The Pendabot is enabled. And also, don't forget, we can configure every time, because if I have inside of this repository, I can see configure, and if I go to configure, I will be able to see this in order to be able. And in Insights, also, we can go to dependency graphic, and dependency graph, we will be able, yes, recent update jobs. And for example, 4 days ago, but I can check for updates. And this is because I have, and it will be the same as a job, because the Pendabot is another kind of actions completely wrapped inside of the Pendabot name, inside of, a new tab, and inside of settings, security, but at the end, it works like a job inside a workflow and inside of .github folder. So this is why it looks really similar. And also we can press it and to check and to see if there are more versions. And that's all. I don't know if someone has questions that if someone else want to ask something, or also what I was saying, if some of you want me to go deeper with secrets, feel free, and we can manage another masterclass more focused with secrets and how to, or for example, to deliver version. But well, I mean, this is the basics of these kind of things.
Okay, Victor, thank you very much for the presentation. Let's gonna wait if there are some questions in the Discord chat. We have some. You will see later. We have some people talking in the chat because we have some issues regarding your presentation. That at some point, you remember, I had to interrupt you because you were showing the web page and not the GitHub page. So as I was doing the streaming next to other stuff on my screens, I suddenly say, okay, you're talking about something is not in your website, and also there were plenty of people commenting this on the Discord. And then also it seems that at some moment you type something and then it didn't appear on the screen, maybe. You type some.
I think I was not taping because
Ah,
I was showing these three screens
okay,
with my
okay,
code, but I didn't type anything. I was
okay.
just showing the
Perfect. Just
things.
for people to know, because they thought you were typing something for the presentation, and it was not appearing on the streaming, and they were a little bit crazy. So um, let's gonna wait for the questions and answers. There is still no one there, but you know how this works. We are inserting our streaming into YouTube, then later the YouTube comes back, and at some point, could you please stop sharing your screen now?
Yeah. Stop. Done.
Okay, so I'm gonna change the screen on the streaming, and let's gonna wait for a few seconds, a few minutes to the people. So you were saying that you have other stuff to talk about incrementing this presentation for other
Yes,
occasions.
we can talk about something that other years we this is I think you know better than me, Andrew, when the people put their secrets inside of their code. And when we are talking about open source, when we are talking about a public repository, when you have SDK keys or other kind of things, they have to keep in mind they have to use secrets. And I was saying if someone else wants to research more or to go deep about this topic, I will be glad to.
But when you say, excuse me, when you say secret, you mean that some things you have to make it not clear, or to obfuscate, or
Well,
make it not.
it's most simple. It is most simple. You can because, for example, if you have an SDK, for example, Crashlytics or Google Maps, the only thing that you have to do is get out of the repository, get it just locally, and use GitHub secrets if you need automatize something. For example, if you need it, as for example, to compile the project with the Pendabot or with things like I was presenting today, use the secrets. GitHub has a way to just get this information in a private way, and it will be inserted as a step inside of a continuous integration or continuous delivery.
Okay, let's wait for seconds. There is some questions coming, and let me say to send a salute to one of our viewers today. That it's Randolph Schwartz. That it's a Google developer expert in Flutter too, from US. He's a very well-known author of different books in the different languages, specialist in Perl and many other things. I would say,
Wow.
hi Randolph. I would say we are also both. We are all guys from the very old school, and Randall is saying secrets are tricky. Luckily, our CI/CD has ways to keep secrets separate.
Yeah, that's the point. That's the point. It's a really pleasure to have you, Randall, and I'm really happy to know that you're here. And yeah, the point is it's more uglier to have like a dependabot or other, or sometimes your mentor saying like, hey, or sometimes Google is disabling your key because they know you have that key publicly in some parts of the web. And because I remember Andrew an email saying like these kind of things like, hey, watch out with this repository because this repository has um, a private key publicly. So, but yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
this happens. Always happens. Yeah. Okay. So we will wait a few minutes more. People is shy. I was at the beginning of the questions and answers, and also, I was thinking if doing this in other way, like using again the YouTube chat instead of the Discord chat. But we have the community is on the Discord. Of course, people has to go to YouTube to see the streaming. So it's something at some point I don't know what to do. Still, I prefer people staying in the Discord for making the questions. The only thing is it takes something like 10, 15 seconds to go back and forth. and it's a very curious situation. What else? We have. Let me share. Let me try to share my screen and don't broke anything. We have something coming. The next event is the. Oh, this is a very Fluttery event too. We have the Kiss apps in Flutter for Liquid Galaxy. The contest. We have the contest. It's in the. Let me share the screen.
Yes.
Let me share the screen. Contents. Yeah, I'm sharing the screen in a second. I'm sharing it for the streaming. So we have on the 18th. Remember all the viewers that on January 18 from 5 to 6 whatever p.m. Central European Time. Sorry. Randall is in US, so he's at 7 something in the morning, but our colleagues in India are at 9 in the evening. So that's the point of the world. Money is a big place. So we have the final delivery of what persons has win the contest we have in the Liquid Galaxy community. I don't want to tell numbers. This is something secret. I will tell the numbers after 15. But the final numbers of how many people are working on the contest, doing applications, and how many of them have presented. But I can tell you numbers are nice. And so you, Victor, or also our other Google developer expert, Alfredo Bautista, that is now living, it's a Spanish for Malaga guy, but he's now living in I would say Amsterdam, near Amsterdam, not really in Holland. And we three, maybe we will have some other four mentors from India or from any other place. We will be reviewing the different applications and giving them the points, and then we will announce who are the winners of this year competition in the Flutter apps. Most of the people has been working on the last slice translation to Flutter. It was in Java, and most people have been working for translating it to Flutter and making nice, but they did, most of them really didn't get the point of how to make a nicer and more, I say, widget full of animation, so on, made in Flutter presentation. But those are young contributors, young developers. They still have. To know the word another, I will not name his mention his name, but another one that he's already making a training crash course in Flutter just for going to CSOC this year. And I say, okay, guy, you have to go fast and be good because you have a few months only. So it seems that there are no questions today, man. That's life.
It's great. It looks like people understand everything. People were, they are actually doing their Dependabots.
I don't know what time they have dinner in India. Maybe it's 9 p.m. there, and they are pretty busy. And okay, it's difficult the where to situate there. So, but the most important point, thank you very much, Victor, because you also are in your in middle of your thing. Thank you very much for staying with us today. And again, we will have the next event on the 18th. It's in no time. And then we will continue doing the different presentations for the Liquid Galaxy community and so on. And also I have to say that we will, as it was shown in the I will show it on the screen. We have 90% ready the new Flutter Lleida group. That is the one handling this kind of specific. Is now on the screen. You, me, Alfredo, also David are the founders of the group, and there are now 70 people now in the group. We will increase, and we will be doing the different presentations specifically for Flutter under this brand of the Flutter World Community. Maybe we can send a salutation just in case that to our friend Nilay. Hey Nilay, how are you? And nothing else. So again, thank you for coming. We'll see you in the next presentation. Bye-bye.
Bye.